Surfing to me, it's just a really good release. It's really good exercise, really good fun, a good source of adrenaline.
These days I've got kids and I've got work and I've got all these other responsibilities, and the more I can't surf, the more I want to go surfing.
There's nothing like getting really good waves with a couple of mates. Really nice sunny day, perfect, barreling waves, and it's just what I live for. I'm Sandy Ryan, and here we are at Island Surfboards, Smiths Beach. This is a family business run by my dad, and we've got the 2 retail stores on Phillip Island, also running a surf school here at Smiths Beach, and manufacturing the boards in our cow store. The business started in 1969. My dad and another guy, Tom Tyrrell, set it up as pretty much a hobby, just to make a few boards for themselves and sell a few to their mates. And as the surf industry evolved, so did the business. It's more of a lifestyle than an actual entrepreneurial sort of type venture. Yeah, we're just here because we love being here, love surfing, and just having a great time. Shaping boards is a really important part of the business, and we're really lucky to have 2 of the best shapers going around in Glendon Ringrose, a former WCT surfer and very talented guy, and also Greg Hogan, who's been shaping since pretty much dinosaurs were roaming the planet. Really good craftsman and very talented.
Island Surfboards has been a great place. I've pretty much been working here for 20 or so years, and it's a great spot to work. Matt and Sandy have been great crew. Matt's the boss, obviously. Sandy's a great mate to hang out with. On an average year, we probably do about 200 boards in the year, and it varies a little bit, but it's usually around about that. I still do it with an electric planer, and I'll hack out the bottom and cut it out by hand, and templates and bottom curves, and shape it all from scratch pretty much. A lot of surfboard companies these days have gone machine orientated. They have a computer in which you're punching into the computer what you want, and then plug the blank in and it cuts it. It still has to be finished off by hand, but it takes away a lot of that hand sculpturing or hand manufacturing. Island Surfboards is a real locally owned and locally run with all of us are local guys here, and we all sort of hang out in the community and go surfing. And you look at all the other companies like Quicksilver and Rip Curl and Billabong, they've become international massive companies, and have lost that real grassroots, I guess. But we are still owned by the same guy who started it. It's a real local feeling, and I guess a real local business that hasn't really changed in ownership, but changed as in the growing of the business.
We've been running the surf school for 15 years now, and we're really lucky we've got such a good core group of coaches, really talented guys, all really good surfers. A typical lesson start off with a bit of surf safety and how to deal with the ocean, because it can be quite a treacherous place at times. So obviously start with the basics, and then cover learning how to position yourself on the board, paddle and catch waves, and then go with the standing up technique. And the entire rest of the lesson is out there doing just that, having fun, falling off, having a few successful rides. A A lot of these groups have a similar experience to when I was a kid. I've jumped in the deep end a little bit too quickly, got put back in my place and then worked my way back up again. The most important thing is just getting in there and having a go. Because, a lot of people, are a bit apprehensive. After they've done it, they just couldn't believe why they were worried about it. It's such a great thing to be able to pass on our love of surfing to people who've never surfed before. It's fantastic.
Sandy's one of those characters that you never know what he's done. He is very humble. He doesn't like to talk himself up at all. But then you see the footage or the photos, and he's surfing waves that are 20 metres high and just round as round, and and he'll come back and go, well, I kind of only really made one wave out of 6 or 7. I said, well, what happened to all the other ones? Well, I kind of got chewed up and I didn't quite make it. And then you see the footage and you just go, whoa, it was radical, it was big, it was gnarly. Anybody else would be raving to their mates for hours on end, where Sandy would, oh, it was okay. I remember Sandy, when I first started working, I started working with Matt out at Smiths Beach, and he used to come in on the school holidays and help out. And I remember working in the store selling stuff, and someone would ask me for a block of wax, and I'd sort of go to reach to get the block of wax, and Sandy would jump in front of me. You want that block of wax? Here's that block of wax. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Whatever I did, he'd jump in front of me and go, oh, here it is for you, Glendon. He was so enthusiastic and so helpful, it was almost over the top, but you can see he's still like that today. He loves going surfing. He loves to help people.
Glendon was a huge impact on my surfing. I met him when I was, around sort of 9 or 10 years old, when I was just sort of starting to develop my skills, and it was so good to be able to go surfing with him and just look at what he was doing and try and accomplish some of that. He's been a hero to me since I've been really young, and now we're pretty much best mates. It's great. Go surfing all the time and hang out, and he's a really nice guy.
22 years I've been on Phillip Island, and Phillip Island has changed a lot. I've seen a lot of new developments and new stuff going on. I guess Woolworths and traffic lights and all the rest of it.
Noticed a lot of changes to the island. Obviously the population's got a lot greater. It still has that sort of community, family sort of vibe, which is great. But a lot more people, a lot more friends, but also the waves can get a lot more crowded. But you can always get out there on a nice day with a couple of mates, find a certain break to yourself and have a ball.
If I lived in a place where the surf was tiny all the time, I'd probably struggle. But because we got a great variety of surf in a very dense location, there's always somewhere to go surfing, and it's so much fun. I challenge myself every time I go surfing, whether it is in tiny stuff or massive stuff. I challenge myself, and every time you challenge yourself, you'll do a turn or you get a tube or you do something, you go, wow, that was great. And that's the rush of surfing.
It's really important to my dad and I to leave a legacy of not only teaching people how to surf, but being here in a retail store, making everyone gets the right products, and has as much fun as we do.